So I found this neat little food container or food storage box from my local container store. And what's really cool about this is that it's designed so that you can stack the same sized box on top. So the lid comes off like this and it looks like this. And in my mind, I was like, okay, this is really cool. I can actually put resin and I can embed stuff in there. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I already have some stuff lined up here, what I'm planning to put in. So I have like fake candies that I made out of resin and clay, and then some real candies as well. So this is a process video, and you guys get to watch me make this for the first time. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. Okay, so here's a quick tip on what kind of plastic to use for this kind of project where you want the resin to stick to it, which I have here is label number 6 with an abbreviation PS, which stands for polystyrene. And usually this type of plastic has a clear, very rigid property to it. And you can also use acrylic plastics. They have a similar property as this one. So resin sticks very well to this type of plastic. Now you want to stay away from plastics that have a hazy, translucent effect to it, and usually they're pretty flexible. And those type of plastics include polypropylene, PP, or polyethylene, PE, which are numbered number 4 and 5. So you want to stay away from those type of plastics because resin will not stick to those. Okay, so I laid out all of my pieces in the lid, and once I was happy with it, I took a picture of it to use it as a reference for later when I actually embed them into the resin. And this is what I usually do for all my projects. I do this so that I don't mess it up or I don't forget all the positions of the little pieces. Okay, so I mixed some resin here and I colored it so that it looks like a cake batter or a buttercream frosting. So it's a pale yellow. So I'm going to pour this in here as a base and hopefully have enough resin here. Okay, now that I let the resin kind of spread out a little bit more, I think it's enough to create that nice coat. So I don't think I need to do another layer, but I will get rid of some bubbles here as it is rising to the top. And I'm going to wait for that to get tacky and embed some glitter and some sprinkles. Okay, so I just finished sprinkling the tacky layer with some white iridescent glitter. And I think I'm going to wait till the next layer for my candy sprinkles, just so that it'll give more dimension to the whole piece. So I'll wait for this to harden or cure and we'll move on from there. Okay, so it's been about 5 to 6 hours. The resin is hard enough for the next layer, so I'm going to pour a very thin layer of clear resin right now. So I'm just spraying the resin right now. Okay. And I think I'll add some sprinkles now. So I think that's good for now, and I usually like to move my sprinkles around to make sure that they are even and not too much sprinkles on one area and so forth. Okay, that looks pretty good for me, so I'm gonna let this layer cure probably overnight, so it's nice and hard for my next layer, which I'll be starting to embed my cabochons. Okay, I changed the camera angle here, so this layer has cured, so I'm gonna start embedding my candy pieces, which I have a batch of clear resin here, and I will be working it in series of thin layers to minimize bubbles. If you do like one layer of clear resin and start embedding all your pieces, then more likely you will get tons and tons of air bubbles. But if you work in thinner layers, then you'll get less bubbles. Okay, So I have my reference photo here on my phone, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and start embedding my pieces. So I'll start with my lollipop here. So that goes there, and my chocolate goes here. Okay, so here are all of my pieces laid down, and I'm going to let this layer cure at least 6 hours until I do my next layer, which will be another thin layer of clear resin. And I'm thinking of adding a little bit more sprinkles to give a little bit more dimension to the entire piece. So I'm going to do that. But like I said, I'll let this cure at least 6 hours. So I'll be back. Okay, here comes the next layer of resin. Again, doing a thin layer here. Getting rid of some of the bubbles that are rising to the top. Alright, so as you can see, I added a little bit more sprinkles in here to give like a 3D effect. So now I'm going to let this layer cure and then start building up my layers of clear resin until I completely cover all the pieces. Okay, so here is the lid finished, and I did fill it all the way to the rim of the lid to completely cover the pieces, and it took about 6 more thin layers of clear resin to completely cover the pieces. So it did take me a while to finish it, but it is done, and I just love how it turned out. Now, as you can see, the lid is thick, and I did fill it all the way to the rim, so the lid itself is pretty heavy, but I think it works well with this box specifically because it really keeps the lid in place. So there you go, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I did have a lot of fun making this, so thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.